All right, on this episode of Bowks Talking Bouts, we've got quite the card going down April the 21st. BKFC Fight Night taking place, and a very consequential heavyweight fight topping the marquee when Joey Beltran and Frank Tate toe the line and knuckle up, and always fun having Joey on the show. How's your day going so far there, man?
Been going good. I actually literally just walked out of the gym, so I was like, oh shoot, I saw the text, I forgot they had an interview today, so all good, man.
Yeah, and I imagine you're getting in some good work. You've always been a diligent worker each time we're talking, and it seems like Warriors Boxing Gym was the space you're getting in work with as of late. Is that the main kind of base of operations here?
That's where I was sparring when I was back in Miami the last couple of times, but then I actually made the transition over to Lux Boxing in Danville, Virginia, and I'll be completing my training camp out here.
Oh yeah, you have a house out there with Britton Hart, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, and how are you liking the space there? It would seem like you kind of have like best of both worlds. Like you still have that presence in like the Miami kind of area and stuff like that with like certain training and whatnot, but then you kind of have like your core sort of base set up in Virginia. Like how have you been enjoying kind of settling into that community there?
Well, they both definitely have their perks. So it is good to have a balance of both. Miami is like super convenient because we literally live across the street. Our apartment's across the street from the gym, from Bowks Studios, which is very cool. When we're in Virginia, it's a little bit of a drive, but kind of like the style and the environment more so in Virginia. So I mean, like they both have their great things to list off about them. So it's all good either way.
Yeah, and it must be so cool, like getting in that regular work. Like obviously, like we've talked, and you have like very good sparring partners that seem like they're able to replicate what your opponents are bringing to the table. But I imagine, you know, having Britton Hart in there, I mean, someone you're married to, training with, has like the same kind of career path. I imagine that's a hugely important part of it, just having someone that understands the lifestyle and everything like that.
Yeah, it definitely is. You know, it's, you know, we know all the good and all the bad that comes with this business, you know, and we're able to like kind of be there for each other and be very empathetic of situations that arise, you know. And you know, I wish I could tell you it's just, you know, three nights out of the year you show up and fight, and that's all you have to worry about. But there's definitely a lot more that goes into this business than just the actual fight itself. So it's really, really awesome to have such a strong support system at home, and yeah, so it's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, there is a lot that goes into it for sure. And I mean, I thought it was kind of cool that you were a few weeks ago posting about the 12-year anniversary of the UFC debut. I thought it was nice that you were saying in the caption there, like, honestly, the best moment fighting all over the world brought me was, you know, sitting next to Britton Hart ringside in Mississippi there. So that's kind of a cool thing there and a good way to look at it there.
Yeah, man, it definitely is. Definitely was. It's pretty awesome.
But how fun is it to be looking back on those kind of things, though? It must be, at the very least, a curious kind of dynamic there. Like, what were you, I guess, feeling that given day, realizing that it was like the 12-year anniversary from the UFC debut? Because, like, some big milestones and everything like that throughout the career now.
You know, it's just a testament to, like, you know, the hard work and just fucking mindset that I've had these last years. You know, it's like it's very hard, man. I always say, kind of jokingly, man, I've been scratching and clawing for the last 12 years to stay on TV. And, you know, stay on TV, you can look at it as a parallel to just being relevant, you know, being on a big promotion, whether it be UFC, Bellator, BKFC, you know, and, you know, so not a lot of people have been able to pull that off, so I'm very blessed, and, you know, but like I said, it's being blessed being lucky is one thing, but there's damn sure a lot of hard work that went into it. So it's good. It's good to reflect for sure.
Yeah, and it seems like you have a lot of wisdom that kind of comes from the game. Like I saw that post you had there a number of weeks ago where you were saying like, oh, maybe it's because I'm almost 40, maybe it's the last 15 years of being in the game, but you were just talking about not being bothered so much by particular bout outcomes and stuff like that. Like you're like, oh, 3 people judged the fight, thought I lost it and everything like that, but it seemed like you were very happy with the performance overall and just what kind of went into the camp there. So can you kind of talk about that like mature mentality in the context of like the last fight losing to Arnold Adams there?
I mean, a lot of it is about just trying to maintain a positive attitude, but I definitely was bothered. I definitely could sit here and rant and rave and go on for days about how the judges screwed me over. But like I said in that post, man, it's not the first time. And if I keep fighting long enough, it probably won't be the last time. Judges. But I mean, I know that, man. And judges will break your heart. The judges will break your heart, and if you let them. And I definitely watching that fight multiple times, which I have. I was like, I look at it, I'm like, man, I just think like if that fight was in Mississippi or in Florida, I won that fight. I just think those judges were New York judges and strictly boxing judges, and they were just looking at the clean, open shots, which Arnold landed. Yeah, I give him his credit, but it's not a boxing match. It was a fucking bare knuckle fight. It's different rule set, different criteria, and so all I gotta do is just keep doing what I've been doing, keep working hard, and I'm gonna smash Frank Tate, and then hopefully Arnold that gets by who his next opponent is. I'm not allowed to say, but and hopefully he doesn't drop the ball on that one, and then I can finally get my rematch and be done with it.
And when you say be done with it, do you mean just with the series with Arnold Adams specifically?
Yeah.
Yeah, the only reason I asked that is because like the last time we were talking, you were saying that 2022 you were looking to kind of like pack her in, as it were, like call it a career, go on like one last sort of run. Is that still the timeline, or?
Oh yeah, well, like yeah, because there's other things in life that happen, and so it's like I still generally on that same timeline, so. In a perfect world, I beat Frank Tate. I fight Arnold Adams in December or early 2023, and then I wrap it up. That would be okay with me.
Well, I think an opponent like... Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
And somewhere along there, sneak in a glove boxing match, because that's definitely like a bucket list item for me. And I'll be good, man. I don't have nothing left to prove. I was a world champion. I defended the title multiple times, so it's like, it's just really personal. I just want to get that fucking W over Arnold Adams, dumbass, and then walk away.
Yeah, that would be a great way to kind of do that for sure. And I mean, Frank Tate is a guy I think you could very well get a title shot off of fighting there, because I mean, like he did have that initial fight with Dylan Kleckler there that didn't go his way, but he finished Josh Burns, who I think a lot of people rate pretty highly in the heavyweight ranks. So I mean, what are your thoughts on just what he brings to the table on like a fighter skill set kind of level? Like obviously we're talking about how good he would be for vaulting you towards another title shot, but in terms of like the X's and O's of what he does in the ring well, like what would you say he does well?
I mean, honestly, I just think he's the guy that hits really hard and he's big, and that's about it. If I'm there, if I don't do my homework, and if I'm there to be hit, he can definitely knock me out. So definitely don't want to be planting my feet right in front of him and getting a pissing contest with him. Still maintain my aggression and my overwhelming style, and just have fun out there and get the W. I really don't think it's like too complicated, to be honest with you. And once again, I want to stress the fact that I'm not taking this guy for granted. Like, if he fucking hits me, he can put me to sleep. All right. But what else? What else has he got for me? You know, so maybe he shows up with a bunch of new tricks on April 21st, you know, but based upon what he's shown in the past, that's about it. You know, he's a big, strong guy who hits hard. All right. So are all the other guys that have been fighting the last 15 years, so I feel okay about this fight.
Yeah, I was going to say, I feel like that's something you're fairly accustomed to throughout all of the combat sports endeavors there for sure, man. But I was kind of curious because the last time we were talking, I didn't really get a chance to follow up on it because it was kind of like a parting thought you were giving at the end there. But it seemed like you were dealing with certain people, I guess, running their mouth online and stuff like that. You were saying like, oh, I'm sick and tired of people running their mouth on the internet. Like, it's one thing when it's like the fans because they're just having fun. But if you're a fighter or if you're a journalist, like, don't be doing that. Like, you could expect something to maybe come your way that's not the most positive. Like, was that stemming from any particular thing that was happening at the time? Do you find that is like still going on and is like a persistent issue? Like, what's going on with that there? Just the trash talking and the disrespect online. You seem to find that fairly distasteful when we were last talking.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, just same old, same old. Like I always say, man, keep that same energy. Like, if you're going to talk shit, all right, act like, expect somebody to come up and act as if you are talking shit in person. You know, like, that's all. We're all grown-ups, grown men and women in this sport. Like, if you're going to run your mouth, like, it's not like, and you can't use I hate the cop-out, oh, well, I'm just trying to sell the fight. Like, no, fuck that. You can sell the fights other ways, you know, like, you know, make fun of my double jab or the fact that I don't move my head or something like that. All right, that's fine. But if you want to say some personal shit, like, you better expect a personal response. That's all. I maintain that viewpoint on things. Like, so that's all.
Yeah, no, I get that for sure. I mean, I feel like Frank Tate is a guy that's generally pretty respectful, so probably not dealing with as much of that leading into this one.
Frank Tate's like, oh, it's super cool. It's like, I'll just come out and say it was Josh Burns running his fat mouth. And then, like, it's so funny. You're like, on one post, you're literally talking shit about me and Alan Belcher. Like, saying how, oh, me and Alan Belcher went the distance with Tony Lopez. So when I put him to sleep, we're going to see there's a big difference between me and these pretenders. Like, all right, guy. And then Tony Lopez went and beat your ass. Like, that's pretty funny. But, you know, whatever. That's all. At the end of the day, like, I always say, like, I love bare knuckle fighting because at the end of the day, like,
yeah, well, I feel like that's always been a big variable in your favor, just in the sense of like having that, you know, heart and doggedly pursuing the finish and everything like that, and just as hard as you are to put away. It seems like the grit and resolve are a big part of like, you know, what works for you. Like, obviously you've got a tremendous amount of skills around that, but I feel like that's a good base to go off of, just like the mentality and the fighting spirit that you have there.
Yeah, you know, I would like to be known for my head movement and defense and footwork for the last few fights in my older age, but we'll see.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think your skills have certainly been growing over the last number of fights there, and it seems like you've really found the niche in this kind of framework there and stuff like that. And it's kind of cool because, I mean, BKFC is a very evolving kind of sport. Like, I think we're seeing the evolution in real time there. Is that like an exciting thing for you, just like figuring out the nuances of like the clinch positions and the rule set and just showing those newer sets of skills on a fight to fight basis?
I mean, it's like double-edged sword because, okay, like, yeah, it's great, it's cool, especially like when you like collaborate with other high-level fighters, like, for instance, like me and Brent went and spent some time in Puerto Rico with Elvin Brito getting ready for his title fight, and just like bouncing ideas off of him and like the way that he approaches things, and like, it's pretty cool. Like, you can like see like, oh, you know, like, but on the other end, it's such an evolving sport that you got refs. you have no consistency upon the refs. You know, as far as like, do they really know the rule set? You know, is there a you know, like a what's the word? What am I looking for? Like a skeleton key, if you will, for the rule set, like something that everybody follows. Like, not really, because some refs will let you get away with all kinds of like dirty boxing and clinch and clinch work. Other refs, like the freaking idiot that I had in Marlon Adams fight, would break you up within a couple seconds. And so it's like really like, you know, that's the, like I said, double-edged sword of this, such a brand new sport. You got cool things you collaborate on with other fighters. Then you got the refs, like, they don't really know what they're collaborating on as far as how they're going to judge and how they're going to ref the fight.
Yeah, I guess I didn't consider that facet of it, but that is definitely fair. And I would think especially frustrating if, say, for instance, you had a game plan in a certain regard, like if you're going to do like a close quarters game plan, and then you happen to get a ref that's breaking you up more than like another ref would allow. I mean, yeah, that would be for sure frustrating, I would imagine.
Yeah. But, you know, at the end of the day, that's like part of the game, and you have to be flexible, and you have to like you know, win in every single aspect. So
yeah, I definitely get what you're saying there, man. But I always try to worm in a little bit of pro wrestling talk when we kind of get on these calls. Have you ended up going over to SoCal Pro Wrestling and taking a couple classes, or the schedule a little too busy for that, maybe?
yeah, schedule a little too busy. I still have an open invitation with my man over there, Anthony Idol. He'll chat me up every now and then. So it's like, I'm like, dude, I have too much respect for that. Like, to do that half-ass, like that's a hard life, pro wrestling. You know, so I don't know that'll ever happen. That's like, that's a little rough.
Wouldn't be like a bucket list thing even to do like one pro wrestling match or anything like that? I mean, definitely hard on the body, but no interest even in like a bucket list kind of context?
I mean, maybe do one running at the Royal Rumble or something. That'd be super cool. Oh, yeah, because wrestling, man. Rest in peace to Scott Hall, man. That was rough. You know, rest in peace to Scott Hall, one of the original Outsiders NWO Wolfpack members. So that sucked.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, man. A classic wrestling figure, and I've been watching some of the older Scott Hall videos subsequent to him passing away there. So, yeah, definitely a legend for sure, man. And, you know, good shout out there. Huge figure. But you've been really great with your time, and I always want to be mindful of your schedule. I know you're a busy guy. So, to that point, is there anything you maybe want to add as a parting thought as we're wrapping things up, Joey?
No, that's about it. Just standard operating procedure, you know. Thank you for your time, and I appreciate the coverage.
Yeah, always fun getting to chat, man, and always fun having you on the show. So thanks again for that. But I think I'm very much going to be enjoying this fight on April the 21st. I imagine that sentiment is shared by many BKFC fans ahead of this fight night when Frank Tate and Joey Beltran are topping the marquee. Definitely looks like it's a high-octane fight on paper. So, yeah, best of luck with the rest of the preparations heading into this one, and looking forward to checking out the fight as well, Joey.
Thank you, man. You have a great day.